Oh, you answered my first question about the center positive and center negative. And the diagrams are very helpful because I have a physics background, but I didn't understand the distinction with regard to a pedal. But now I understand it has to do with the voltage on each side of the input, whether it comes in negative voltage or whether it comes in positive voltage and leaves negative or leaves positive.
Exactly right. Yep.
Apparently, it does make a difference, or that's why your thing
That's
went
what I'm
back.
thinking. Yeah, yeah. Like I
But
think
I didn't make that relation at first because
yes.
I bought a pedal for my 18 volt DC uh, adapter for my Aguilar pedal, and it arrived and it didn't work, and they didn't have the courtesy of telling me whether it was center positive or center negative. So I just assumed either the pedal was broken or it was center positive, and I
Okay.
needed center
Yeah.
negative.
And have you
So
tried replacing it with a different power supply?
it comes Friday.
Okay, nice.
And a
Well,
negative one comes Friday. But I mean that was not a trivial point. They didn't say that specifically in the description. This is a center positive 18 volt adapter. But that doesn't it must make a difference because it has to do with what voltage that it's expecting versus what it's getting with the adapter.
yeah. And you know, I don't really, like I said, I don't fully understand yet like the electronics within a pedal to the point where I could say it as clearly as the example that I gave with the turntable. That makes a lot of sense, right? The turntable example, it's either going to go one direction or it's going to go the other direction.
That's because it came in the wrong polarization. Instead of coming in
Yep.
negative and leaving positive, it came in positive and leaving negative, or the other way
Exactly.
around.
And so I wonder what the implications are with a pedal. Now
So do I, and
I don't want you to break your
that's
pedal,
why I
but
asked you.
it sounds like in this case, what it means for you is maybe it'll either work or it won't. So
Right.
if you change the power supply and it becomes a workable pedal, then we don't know exactly why, I guess.
It
But
works great on the 18 volt input to a battery because I have a battery also.
also DC,
Unfortunately,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, unfortunately, the battery in my setup creates an ungodly amount of high frequency noise with that pedal using a battery. And that's another thing I've run into is noise on a pedal board
Yes.
and the high frequency whine or the hums on pedal
Yeah.
boards.
I think for me, what changed, I used to be when I like the reason I'm an audio guy now is because I realized that I much preferred rearranging pedals and changing pedals and tone than I did learning guitar. And so that's actually what got me
Hey,
here.
there's
But
a
I
place
still,
for everybody.
there is.
We need you all.
But one thing I learned back then is that, you know, too many pedals can cause those problems. And the shorter that circuit is, the less noise you'll probably have. But then also consider where things are plugged in with like ground loops and things. Okay, so if
Yeah, that was the deal. I think it was a ground
exactly,
loop.
yeah, if you've got, for those watching, if you've got your amp connected to one circuit and your pedal board connected to a different circuit, and then those two things are connected with a signal ground with the audio cable, that could create a potential for a ground loop, which often comes across as either a hum or a buzz or something like you've described. So yeah, well, thank you for your question, and I'm curious to hear when the center negative plug comes in. I'm interested to hear if that fixes the problem or
Yeah,
not.
I am too
Yeah,
because it's this thing here. It's this. I won this at bass guitar boot camp.
nice. So what is that? It's like
It's three
some
hundred
tone
bucks.
shaping, and oh man, yeah, you better
Yeah,
hope
this
that
is like
it's
the
gonna
new
work.
Aguilar thing.
Nice.
And
Okay.
so I
Yeah,
thought, well,
yeah.
maybe I should use it, since I got it.
Well, that's what I would say. Yeah. And if not, hopefully you'll be able to send it back because if you tried it both ways, then
Well, this thing I wanted in a contest. I wanted bass guitar boot camp, so this was a give me free.
nice. Okay.
But it's also a DI out box. A DI out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really cool piece. I'm gonna go ahead and say this now, even though it's a little bit unrelated, just for people who don't know. Like, you know, we often think that we can plug a bass or a guitar into our interface and record it, and you can, but we're not used to hearing that, right? We're used to hearing a bass going through an amplifier and then through a cabinet. And I think that's what that device is intended to do, right?
Yeah, this is a DI box. What it does is it's a DI box. It replaces a TRS cable
Yeah.
with it with a noise canceling XLR, right?
Yep, and I think in addition to that transformer that's in there to balance the signal and match the impedance,
Balance the signal.
I believe that can also simulate somewhat of the effects that like a real amp and speaker would have. so that when you run that signal into your interface DI, you're able to hear the bass system rather than just hearing the bass pickup. Because again,
Yes,
you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
thank you for your question, Anne. That was a really good question, and I hope that that new power supply is able to fix your problem.